Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the channel if you're new here. My name is JoJo. Here we cover seasonal anime week by week, and today we're going to be talking all about Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 2, Episode 1. But before we get into that, I do want to let you all know that if you would like to have your name shouted out in next week's Kaguya video, then be sure to share this video around on the internet, and then tag me at JoJo Talks Too Much over on Twitter, and I will be sure to shout your name out in next week's video. Okay, so it has been quite a little bit since I last talked about Kaguya on the channel. In fact, if you went to look for it, I don't think you would find any Kaguya on the channel, since back when I was covering Kaguya, it was still Animinute format. And if you don't know what that is, that's fine, you are newer to the channel, and if you do remember Animinute, then my god, you are an OG, ain't ya? But it has certainly been a hot minute since the last time I talked about Kaguya. And if you're brand new to the channel and you don't know who I am, hi, I'm JoJo. I don't always dig comedy shows. I like comedy in general, but it has to be blended with something in order for it to work for me. And so it's one of the things that I was worried about when I first got into Kaguya back in the day. Watching this first episode of Season 2, this is the reason why Kaguya won me over. Because basically, it's still a comedy, and it is like out and out, it's a comedy. 100% it's a comedy. But it blends in, and this is gonna be weird, but it blends in shonen battle stuff without a single punch being thrown. It feels like Death Note without any of the weight, and I'm totally here for it. And you guys know me, I'm a shippy dude. I mean, you know, if you've been on the channel, you know that I'm a shippy dude. And if you're new, then hi. I like to ship people, fictional people, because shipping real people is weird. But like, yeah, I'm kind of a big shippy dude. And so Kaguya is kind of a perfect fit for me because you have these two characters who are undeniably, like, totally fallen for each other, but the fun is in trying to get the other one to confess first. And we have seen these two dance this dance many a time because you get the multiple, like, little confrontations in a single episode. That remains in Season 2. But the one thing I really want to hone in on for this first video in our little Kaguya series is, oh my god, Hayasaka is the unsung hero of Kaguya. I always hear people when like best waifu of Kaguya comes up, like is your waifu Kaguya or is your waifu Chika? Or if you're like me and you don't really want to pick a waifu in the show, is it best girl is Chika or best girl is Kaguya? Best girl is Hayasaka, 110%. She is like just the absolute unsung hero, going above and beyond as often as she can for her girl Kaguya. Hayasaka is an interesting character too when you think about it, because like, who is she? Like, is she the version of herself that's around Kaguya, or is she the sort of gal, like goofy sort of character that she is around other characters? I don't know. I have to assume that her self is around Kaguya, even though she seems more like strict and like really like prim and proper. It seems more like a front when she's being the sort of like gal or garu type of character she is around the rest of the school. But yeah, in this episode alone, we see her being like the gal character. We see her being like a Bond girl. Like the first thing you see is her basically being like a superstar spy at one point, like jumping through laser grids. And it just like, I think she's the character who lends herself to the most fun and the most like dynamic quote unquote action scenes. Like I suppose the most Sakuga-ish stuff. But really, I think most of the Sakuga gets put towards Chika, and I don't blame anybody. Because that's the thing, right? Even though I think Hayasaka is technically best girl, it's actually Chika. And you could also make the argument, it's actually Kaguya. At any point, one of the three is going to be somebody's best girl, and is probably going to be my best girl, even though that's counterintuitive, and there should technically only be one best girl, but there's three. And there's likely to be more given the poster that we've seen. But, yeah, I do think Hayasaka gets her shine in this episode. Even though we did get an episode that was like solely about her last season, I hope we get another one like that this season. And yeah, it's just it also makes me question whether or not Hayasaka will get a love interest of some kind. Since we know Kaguya obviously has Shirogane, Chika is sort of her own entity. Occasionally I think her and Ishigami not so much like are a good ship, but I just think that they're funny together. I don't know if in fact I don't ship it. But like I've seen some people suggest like Ishigami and Chika, which like no, I just think like they're buddies. Like, or not even buddies, it's just like they have a fun dynamic. But I wonder if Hayasaka will get like a love interest, because the show is it's a romantic comedy battle anime, if that makes any sense. And I am curious to see if Hayasaka will ever get herself a love interest, or if she's going to remain this sort of representation of like a platonic love. Like, I live to serve this character, and this character is also my friend, and I care about them, and so it's like, I wonder if like maybe that's her role in the show. I assume that's her role in the show. Although maybe she did get a love interest and I don't remember. Because that's the other thing too, is like, I remember the first couple of episodes and I remember the last couple of episodes, but there's like a block in the middle of season 1. Because that's the thing with season 1, is season 2 jumps out of the gate like strong. This first episode is holy crap funny. Like, I was busting a gut the entire way through the first episode. Like, this premiere was fantastically funny. Parts of season 1 are really, really funny, and then other parts just don't hit. And I do admit that there's parts of season 1 that I just blanked out, that I don't recall. So maybe Hayasaka had a love interest and I have no clue and I don't remember. I highly doubt it, because I feel like I would remember that. But then again, it's me. I'm kind of an idiot. So that could have happened, but I do think she's meant to represent a sort of platonic love in the show. And her character, again, like I said, is the one that lends herself to the most like bombastic, action-y stuff. And she's basically this like crazy, like intense badass for hire for Kaguya, which is hilarious. And I don't know, Hayasaka deserves more love. But speaking of the comedy, because again, I did say like this is hilarious. This is like I think this is some of the show's strongest comedy. And I'm not just saying that because of recency bias. I genuinely feel as though this premiere had everything that worked about the previous seasons. And in the previous season, every episode had like bare minimum 3 skits, right? Like 3 separate skits. And in any given episode, 2 would work and 1 would fail. It was sort of like SNL, only SNL is like 2 would fail and 1 would work. But this episode, I felt like every single one hit. I genuinely thought every single skit was really, really funny. I genuinely can't think of a joke that didn't land for me this premiere. I guess maybe I was just like more... Because I had already had a taste of what Kaguya was, the idea that I didn't get to watch another episode next week must have like made me starve for Kaguya content. So by the time we actually got the season 2 premiere, everything was funny because I was super excited, and they didn't have to like establish any character. You already know who the student council is. They don't really have to establish shit. And they just dive right in. Everything, I think what it is that they've refined the show at this point. They're like, okay, we know what's funny, we know what's not as funny, so we're just gonna hit every minute with the comedy. Like, just as an example, right? Like, they totally have mastered the dramatic style of comedy where that goofy, like, overly dramatic song plays. Like, I'm thinking in particular of the card game where Kaguya is like, oh my god, Chika married Shirogane, and I'm just gonna become an old woman bathing in a bathtub full of money, and everything sucks. And then at the end, they're both depressed, and the announcer or the narrator is just like, and marrying Chika is basically just a surefire way to get depression. And I was like, damn. But at the same time, like the overly like dramatic scene just makes it all the funnier because it's over something so ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I think, like, I don't really want to spend these videos explaining the joke, because explaining the joke makes it not funny, but still, like, just in terms of comedy bits, I'm thinking of like the crazy animation on multiple scenes in this episode, like the train where I swear to God, Ishigami straight up becomes Thomas the Tank Engine at one point. I was like, that's straight up Thomas. This show is ridiculous. But like, yeah, the man straight up becomes like Thomas the Tank Engine. And everybody's like just going wild at one point. And another crazy bit of animation is Chika like grabbing one of the cards from the card game they're playing, and it's this like crazy like magical girl-ish like moment where she's like twirling around and there's like crazy big effects done by Hidekazu Ebina. And I looked them up, and Hidekazu has apparently worked on a lot of Fate and Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, which does not surprise me, because the way Chika like pulled up the card with all the crazy effects and everything, it looked like something out of Yu-Gi-Oh. It was like the animation in this show. I don't gotta tell you, but the animation has been wild since season 1. It's just as crazy, if not more crazy here. And the other big thing I could think of, and the reason why the comedy always tends to land in this premiere specifically, is the sort of youthful idea of romance. That seems to be Kaguya's big trump card, is the idea that these characters think they know what they're talking about, but they actually don't have a damn clue. And I can't think of any better moment in the episode to represent that than the whole council spying on Tsubasa and Nagisa, just like looking at them going like, oh my god, have they achieved nirvana, quote unquote? And I was like, my god, it really does smell like Teen Spirit in here. That was the stupidest joke I've ever made. Anyway, yes, it is really goddamn funny. I am very happy to have the show back. I don't know how I'm going to do these videos, because I don't want to just explain jokes, because that, defeats the purpose of the joke, makes it less funny, but we'll see. I don't know how I'm going to do these videos week by week, but I will figure out a way. Also, I would be remiss not to mention that Daddy Daddy Do is the most boppiest bop of the entire spring anime season. This is easily OP of the season. Fight me. Actually, don't fight me, because let's just be real. That's just a fact. With that said, everybody, I'm gonna wrap up my thoughts here. I'm really excited for Kaguya. Like, I genuinely think this is not only the premiere of the spring season, I think this is like the funniest episode of Kaguya. Maybe it is recency bias, but I really don't think so. I genuinely think this was my favorite episode so far. Really excited for the rest of season 2 now. And that's gonna do it for today's video, everybody. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then by all means hitting that like button and leaving a comment down below is a great way to help out this channel, as it pleases the almighty YouTube algorithm. So if you choose to do so, kudos to you. And if you're feeling extra supportive today, you can go ahead and check out all the links in the description. One goes to my Twitter, another one is to our Discord server, another one to our merch store if you feel like grabbing yourself a mug, and of course, our Patreon page. And speaking of the Patreon page, I do want to give a big thank you to those of you in the T Squadron who support this channel month to month. Let's go ahead and do the Earl Grey shoutouts. Zevi, Andrew W, Branson C, Bria Rose, Calvin A, Crowbar of Irony, Daniel G, Digger the Fox, Dominic G, Emily, Ionos, Urza, Ginkotaku, Godzilla Fan, No For Nothing, Maria T, Marshall B, Mater, Mirth Mouser, Cell, Shadow Creative, Stephen G, Sakochi, The Suavest Orange, Tristan G, and Veridon. Thanks so much for your continued support over on Patreon, everybody, and if you too would like to join the T Squadron, then be sure to check out the first link in the description to check out our Patreon page. That is a huge way to support the channel. And again, be sure to check out the other stuff in the Discord as well. Go join our Discord. It is now public. You can all join. Everybody can hop in the Discord. Follow me on Twitter if you want me to ramble at you even more. And until next time, you stay classy, AnyTube, and wash your dang hands.